start recording. So it is recording now. And hello there. Good day. Nice to see you. Let's ask the basic stuff. So who are you? What is your name? What are you doing?
Okay, sure. My name is Ihor Radchenko, and I am, well, many people know me as org mode maintainer, but my daily job is material scientist.
Aha, good. And where do we find you now? Which part of the world? You don't have to be precise, but
Well, these
general.
days I'm in Poland, in Warsaw.
I see. Good. And how is the weather there, by the way? Because here it's a terrible heat wave.
I think the whole Europe had a heat wave, right?
Yeah.
Including Poland. But I think the heat wave here is gone like a week or two ago, I think.
Okay, I see. So yeah, it moved south.
Yeah, so it was pretty cold after the heat wave, actually.
Okay. Well, sounds like more northern than where I am. Yeah, so.
Indeed.
Very well. Let's start with Emacs. So, of course, you are the maintainer of org mode. Naturally, you are an Emacs user. But before you tell me about org, tell me about Emacs. Like, how do you use Emacs? What do you do with it?
Well, I'm one of those people who use Emacs for pretty much everything. But I started using Emacs to take notes and to manage tasks. So yeah, so of course org mode, yeah.
Uh-huh.
But then later, like slowly, as it usually happens, more and more things are moving to into Emacs. Yeah.
So you do programming, maybe email. What about window management? Like.
Okay, not window management though. Mostly because when I do development of Emacs inside Emacs and doing window management in Emacs at the same time, it's not going to work very well because I need to restart from time to time. So that doesn't work. But otherwise, email, notes, all the task management, all the programming, yeah, pretty much the most basic things. The only thing that's left is browser. Yeah, which I tried to use browser, but it didn't work very well. So I'm using external browser.
So you tried, you mean EWW or XWidget embedded in Emacs? Or both?
XWidget is not very good. I tried EAF, the Python framework. So some browser there. Yeah, but it had some quirks. So I didn't like that one.
Yeah. For me, I haven't tried those, but I'm curious, like, does it give you any genuine advantage? Like when you open a web page, is it an Emacs buffer? Like, do you have access? Like, you can read the contents the way you can in an Emacs buffer. So there are text properties, for example, and line numbers and all that.
It's not like that. I think EAF works by creating window inside a window or something along those lines. I don't know all the technicalities, but the key thing is that you can send some commands to window from eDisp. You can do key bindings from eDisp. But the actual handling of key bindings is done in Python.
Okay, I see. Okay, sounds useful, but not the full promise of Emacs.
Yeah, I would say that if one is fully into window management with Emacs, it will be similar experience, especially if the program is configurable. Like I'm using Qt browser, so I have key binding configuration in there, so that there is not that much difference.
Good. And since you mentioned key bindings, what style of key bindings do you use for Emacs? Because there are people who come to Emacs and they're like, oh, the first thing I need to do is install evil mode or something like that.
Well, I used to use stock key bindings, but at some point I switched to model, mostly when I need to move around the buffer, because I had this bad habit of to use Control N, Control P, and that's not ideal. Yeah, for fingers.
No.
So at this point, I mostly think, okay, so the most frequently used commands should be not mnemonic, but rather like good for like easy on the home row or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But for other commands, I prefer mnemonic the Emacs style.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I have something similar where it's like HJKL are mapped to a layer on the keyboard for the arrow keys, but otherwise it's Emacs bindings.
Yep. So like most of my bindings are like I don't like H actually, so I just use JKL,
Mm-hmm.
IO, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
also the one to the right to recenter, which is also
Okay, good.
so those are the most frequently used.
I
In
see, I
general,
see.
I'm using Boon, so it has some editing model, which is sometimes handy, but mostly I use insert mode when I am editing.
Mm-hmm. I see, I see. I haven't tried Boon. I used it once just to test the faces it provides, but I haven't actually used it in earnest. So yeah, I have to look that up again. Um, Tell me about how does somebody get to maintain a hugely important package like org mode? Like, how do you start? Because there are people who don't contribute to free software / open source, and they may wonder, okay, how do you even get started? What kind of skills do you need to have?
Well, first of all, actually, I talked about this a bit during previous Emacs Conf.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So what happens is naturally, like I was a remote user, then I report some bugs. Okay, the bugs were fixed. Okay, great. Then at some point, I tried to fix some bug myself. Okay, that also worked. Then there was COVID, and then I had some time, and I got to fix some like a pretty major problem,
Mm-hmm.
which was holding and overlays at that point.
Uh-huh.
And
They were really slow in the past, right?
yeah,
The
so it was Emacs problem. Basically, the
mm-hmm,
algorithm was not the most efficient.
mm-hmm,
Uh, so I did that contribution, and along the way, I was also trying to get involved and fix some other bugs on mailing lists.
mm-hmm,
So like, it was like a slow process for many years. Like
mm-hmm.
I contributed more and more, and I think at some point Bastien had a lot of like he was very busy, so there was not much activity in terms of bug fixing. So I basically started doing that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So even before you officially became the maintainer, you were kind of doing maintenance work in the form of fixing bugs and
Yeah.
checking others.
So first occasionally, and then more and more when I was okay, nobody is fixing them, so I may as well.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm. And how does that work in terms of the reception from the community? Like, you are not officially the maintainer. Let's go to that phase.
Mhm.
And people are discussing some feature which there is a bug for it or something. So you enter the conversation. Do they say, hey, you're not the maintainer, or they are receptive?
Oh, like there is nothing like I think there's very little problem that being maintained or not. Discussions are always open.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think it's everywhere in Emacs. Even on Emacs, there is people don't really recognize, oh, this person is maintainer, this person is not maintainer. Some
Uh-huh.
people know early maybe, but it's not necessary that they will respond any differently to him. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Because people coming from outside the free software space may think in terms of, oh, there is somebody who is in charge and I am their inferior and I have to get their
Yeah,
approval.
exactly. That's often what happens. People who are new to mailing lists, they think, oh, okay, anyone who responds is going to be like the big person. So,
Yeah, exactly. Whereas on the mailing list, that's the whole point of it. Anybody can respond.
yeah.
And that's why people sometimes are on the mailing list and like, oh, there is a lot of discussion here. Is this normal? Like, what is happening? um, so tell me about how is it to maintain org? Of course, you talked about it at the Emacs Conf, but how is your day like? Like, you start your day, what do you do for the org maintenance?
Well, it's mostly mailing list.
Mm-hmm.
So there are bugs which I save in my to-do list, and then I just go through the to-do list. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's very simple.
And how do you prioritize them, or what kind of process do you have for determining what to work on?
Well, that process changed over time, like
Mm-hmm.
depending on how much free time I have. Like for
Mm.
some time, I had a lot of free time because I didn't have a job. Yeah, so okay, I can spend the whole day fixing bugs and doing something. Uh, Now, not so much. So I mostly do it on weekends
Mm-hmm.
or sometimes in the evening. So then I have to prioritize, of course. So like roughly the top, the idea is I want to encourage others to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
So like, okay, if there is some bug is good, that someone else fixes it, right? Or if there is some feature is good, so someone else contributes it, and then I just take a look that it makes sense or not, and then merge it.
Mm-hmm.
So the top priority is patches. So like, okay, someone is willing to spend time to write the patch. Okay, that's what I'm going to prioritize.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then the second one, the second priority is okay. If there is some bug, I want to respond to the bug at least to show people that okay, it's not ignored completely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then the third priority is the new feature requests. Then like
Uh-huh.
if someone asks, I can at least drop a word that okay, it makes sense or it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And finally, if there are more general discussions, then I respond to those.
I see. I see. Good. Good. Good.
In addition to that, I have like certain like projects, like some specific areas I wanted to work on.
Mm-hmm.
So those has like it's kind of they are separate. So I work a separate task for each of that project. I try to prioritize them, but it depends on my free time because this more complex things tend to take a lot of time. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but for email, you can like take 5-10 minutes. Sometimes you can reply, or like up to 1 hour, say. So like
Mm-hmm.
if I go from work, I can at least work on one email. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
good enough. Like when it's some bigger project, I can okay. I need to spend like several hours. So I may not have enough like free will to force my work on that. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's not true.
That's the difficult part because, of course, if you are dealing with all the other more administrative issues, then working on a new feature will require a different type of focus of mental energy, which is not easy to master it.
Well, depends. Like it depends on what,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes you can split it into smaller tasks, and then it's easy to just go one by one.
Aha,
But
aha.
even that planning requires time, so
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
that can be the block.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. How is it with the effort of encouraging others to get involved? Like, how do you try to tease them out, to bring them forward?
Well, I actually tried to formulate these rules at some point. So in Org Wiki, we have the page on maintenance.
Mm-hmm,
So and I wrote like a section on community there.
mm-hmm.
So the idea is simple. Like we want to encourage more people to come, so we should be welcoming. So especially like I even have a small script that shows okay, this in the mail, and how is this person like first time poster on the mailing list or not? And if it's some first time person, I try to make sure okay, so I'm going to be extra friendly with that person.
Smart. Yes, good, good. Yeah, yeah, those are the little things because, of course, somebody who is not familiar with how things work, I might be intimidated otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I know many people are scared by mailing lists and general workflows.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's a good question, like how to encourage people to contribute. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, the fact that it is the tooling that is not familiar maybe contributes to that sense of hesitation that people have. Because maybe they are used to just clicking on the pull request, okay, merge, and it's good.
Well, that's our lasting discussion, right?
I
Like
know, I know.
merge role also. Like so some people say, okay, but if you don't have a barrier entry, you're not going to have high quality contributions and so on and so forth.
Hmm, hmm.
Uh, oh, that's a difficult. I think different projects answer this differently. Like I recall, I think Greeks recently switched from mailing list workflow to some Forge.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't kept up with that piece of news. Interesting development. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
I think they post like the whole they did through the whole process of some discussion blueprint and then getting input from community, and then they decided to switch it.
I see.
Emacs itself, it also happened. It just they had specific requirements to the forge, and
Yes, I remember that
that
discussion.
cannot met. Yeah.
hmm And I believe at some point the Free Software Foundation had announced their intent of setting up a forge, but I don't think that ever happened.
Well,
Or did
I
it?
recall hearing about source hot instance that is on GNU servers,
hmm
but it was like experimental testing or something along those lines. I think it never materialized for anything serious.
Yes, I see. Yeah, of course. The thing with mailing lists is that people don't necessarily have a good email setup on its own. And then, of course, a specific email setup to incorporate patches.
But you don't really need the mail setup for that.
hmm hmm
Like the tricky part is creating a patch.
hmm
But if you do it in Emacs, you can just save a diff for any file once
Yes.
you get the Git repository. So in the contribute section of work, for example, I tried to account for different people. Like if people cannot make patches, then like just Emacs save diff
hmm
or whatever
hmm
the command is called. So like why not? I think the only thing is like people just you can drop an email if you don't have to like create the whole patch and like full product ready to imagine. You just drop an email. Oh, I'm interested to contribute. That's already good, right?
Yes. Very good point. Because, of course, to get the email setup all right will require a lot of effort, but saving a diff in a file, that's much easier. And then, of course, they can take it from there. But even if they just declare their intent, you can walk them through the steps, I imagine, on
Of
the
course.
spot. Yeah. That's. I believe one of the first, or maybe the first contribution I made to org was like that, basically a diff. And maybe I even pasted the diff in the email buffer, so I didn't know any better.
Right, that's fine. So I think the key point with many this is people are just okay. It sounds strange and familiar, like how come contribute not on GitHub, uh,
hmm
but people know okay, I can drop in email is easy because people are familiar with email.
Yes,
So, but
correct.
once you already do that and you get a response, that's like okay, I already invested time and then make use of the policies that people already spent some effort. But that kind of work because it's not too hard to do
hmm
at the end.
hmm And also from a maintainer perspective, when you have a diff open in Emacs, you can do, I believe, Control C, Control A to apply the current diff hank to the actual file. So basically apply the patch.
Well, for applying the patches, I'm not sure if many people need to do that because when people just contribute,
hmm
that's like first time. They can do like easy way, but when people review patches and do like that, it's okay to expect them to know how to work Git works
hmm
because there the entry barrier is probably a bit higher.
hmm hmm And of course, that's to be expected. I mean, if you are going to review patches, then of course you have to be mindful also of the commits and the history and
Exactly.
everything. Yes, of course, that makes sense.
Because
Yeah.
one thing is casual contribution, which should be like effortless, but another thing is like more serious help. Yeah.
So, are there, let me phrase it differently. I remember a few months ago when Bastien announced that org has a new maintainer, and of course, you are the new maintainer. And I believe somewhere in that article, Bastien wrote something like one of the responsibilities of the maintainer is to basically have an eye of who could be the next maintainer, or like who are the contributors that stand out as more active. So is that something you have tried to incorporate in your workflow and your responsibilities?
Well, So that's a difficult, like for actual maintaining, it's difficult decision to think about. I know people who contribute a lot. I know people who are active on the mailing list. So that's not a problem. Like you have Git logs, you can easily see that.
Yes.
That's very clear.
Uh-huh.
Again, I have an email set up where, like, in every email, I can see how many, like, not just first time people who has submitted the first email on the mailing list. I just have the number, how many emails.
Haha, yeah,
So
good.
that's very clear. Alongside, I have like how many commits. Yeah.
Much better. Yeah. Very good, very good. Yeah, so how many emails with patches maybe?
Yeah, not emails with patches, just Git log filtered by email. It's easy enough.
Yeah. Good. How active is your role as a maintainer of org mode? Like, you said, of course, you work on weekends and maybe after work, but generally, do you think what you are doing is enough, and how active do you feel you need to be?
So the truth is, with like actual work, I spend like all the free time. I think most of the free time. So it's 8 hours per week is roughly the number, like maybe
Uh-huh.
6 8 hours per week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not every weekend, like most of weekends, and like sometimes I need to take rest because I cannot do anything.
Naturally. Yeah. Okay, I see. Very good, very good.
But that thing is just basically for maintenance, like bug fixes, like patch reviews, for to contribute more like new features that requires more time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's tricky part. I think like since September, when I have like very demanding work, uh, where like I cannot spend like free time some bits at work. It's not allowed. Uh,
Ah.
that's like I barely keeping up with the emails. Yeah. So
Mm.
for new features, I didn't touch that for like half a year.
Yeah. That's understandable. I see.
But for individual libraries, it's much easier because the there's certain areas of work where there are many bugs and the code is quite complicated. But for some small libraries, like you can get like maybe a handful of emails per year. So,
Yes.
so one of the things I'm trying to do is to get like more maintainers who are going to take care about things, so that I don't have to fix every bug myself.
Mm-hmm. So if, let's say, you were to ask for help, what would be like the first thing? Like, what is the top priority?
Uh, Top priority is helping to fix bugs because there are multiple reasons, but like one is that it's taking part of my time because I have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is fixing bugs is the starting point to contribute more.
Yes.
Like if first you like hack on your own, then you can help hacking the code by fixing the bugs, because bugs are usually not all of them, but many are fairly simple.
Mm-hmm.
Don't need to know much about the code base. So at some point in the near future, I hope to try to get more people to help fix this bug fixing. I'm not yet sure how I will do it, but yeah, probably some kind of announcement. But
Mm-hmm.
I'll see about that. Because that's also toward the goal to get more people who can take on maintenance in like some future.
Mm-hmm.
Because to get more people, we need to have more people to choose from, right? So we need more people who actively contribute.
Yeah.
So, but to get people who will actively contribute, we need to have more people who just contribute, like to some degree.
Yeah.
So that should be made like more people should do that, and I want to try doing that more. At this point, I'm afraid that okay, I'm fixing most of the bugs, so then people who actually want to fix bugs, they have nothing left.
Yeah, you should leave them on purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a difficult question. Okay, there is an easy bug. Should I spend like half an hour fixing it, or should I leave it for unfixed, and then that person who actually filed the bug will say, okay, so why can't you fix it?
Yeah. Of course, the
That's a
thing
bit tricky.
is, yeah. Sorry, sir. Please.
Okay. But and for difficult bugs, okay, it's difficult. I have no time for that. I can say, okay, so maybe in future I reply that. But then people who want to fix it, it's not easy, right? So how can they do it?
Yes, that's the thing. So, and there are bugs which involve a lot of understanding of the internals.
Mm.
So, yeah,
So
it's
some bugs have this design, so then go
mm,
figure how to fix that.
yes, exactly. You mentioned earlier like new features, and I believe you have contributed such new features to org in the
Yes.
last few years. So, what would be some of them?
No,
What
what
are some of them? Yeah.
I have already contributed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the one that got started with seriously contributing was the rewriting of folding.
Mm-hmm.
So that's funny because I contributed to like switch away from overlays to text properties, but that turned out to work not ideally because like certain APIs for searching just are not compatible, and it's very difficult to change them
Oh.
because they like the many packages hard code assumption like in iSearch is very hard to make it work without overlays, and then evil mode re-implements iSearch, for example, and then yeah, and that's like permanently broken, and trying to fix it involves like non-trivial code, which I tried, and that's like it's brittle. So
Yeah.
but luckily Emacs now has overlays which are much faster, so it's kind of okay, turn back. But that's one contribution. Another thing is what I did is the caching library. So
Mm-hmm.
that was part of the big plan actually, because my general goal was getting the parser to work well and fast. So one of the contributions I made was fixing the on-the-fly parser. So like we have something like tree-sitter basically. We
Yeah.
have an incremental parser that can react to changes, atomic changes, and update
Mm-hmm.
itself.
Mm-hmm.
It was written by Nicholas originally, but it was buggy, so it basically didn't work reliably. So I spent a lot of time fixed it, more or less. Like it's now enabled by default,
Mm-hmm.
not 100% reliable because it's asynchronous, and asynchronous code is, it's a
Tricky.
bit tricky to say the least. But it works. But to make it work, I implemented this caching so that it can work between Emacs sessions, save
Uh-huh.
the state,
Mm-hmm.
and I also like I also tried to make it faster, the parsing faster. So I also implemented the abstraction library on top of all the elements just to store the data structures. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
syntax tree data structures. So
Mm-hmm.
that was it was not exactly a new feature, kind of new feature, but I also refactoring all the like old libraries.
Yeah. Of course, yeah, in practice it is. Yeah, of course, I see. And I have read the org element API, like there is a web page for it. I don't remember if it's mentioned in the org manual. Right now, I don't remember that.
I think it should.
Yeah, probably. No, of course, you don't need to check. um,
Yeah.
but I remember looking at it and I was like, yeah, this is very good. Do you see new contributions using the API, or do they still use the old
There are some.
methods?
There are some. I generally encourage people to use API at this point because we have the cache, it's much faster.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually because in the past the problem was okay, we have the parser, but then using it for actual commands is very slow
Uh-huh.
because you need to parse from the very beginning of the document, and for large documents it's not going to work very well. So
Mm-hmm.
this caching, it works much better, and you can actually use the API instead of like try and approximate regular expressions.
Yes. Good. I haven't seen any code in the wild, I mean, that uses the API. I cannot think of something right now.
There is even library on top of that org ML.
Aha. Okay. So I have to look into that. I haven't checked it out.
Yeah. And in general, yeah, people do use the API. I mean, or Gromel uses it, of course,
Yes.
because
Yes.
it is
Yes.
the Spark version.
Yes. Yes. Of course. Or grow. Yeah, I forgot the big one. Very good. Very good. So let's switch topics because I'm also curious to learn a little bit about yourself. Because one of the thing is that, of course, we have the technical side, like people like yourself contribute this hugely important work. But then I am interested to know, okay, who the person is, because you are not just a bot that writes code, right? So, like, what are your interests? What should people know about you? Like, what do you do when you don't deal with Emacs?
Yeah, well, uh, I do my work also, right? So I'm a scientist. I'm not a programmer at
Hmm.
the end. So I do programming for my work these days because that's necessary. But the training is not exactly programming. So that's I had to learn many things like in programming like separately by myself. Yeah. In general, I try to learn new things all the time. That's one of the things I try to pursue. Like, I even have a separate like list of tasks which I want to learn at some point. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And can you say what those are about? Of course, if they are private, you don't have to.
It's not private. Like I did many things over the time, like starting from meditation.
Hmm.
At least I think it's like 7 years ago. That time I was learning about that thing. I even like I practiced, and then it actually worked quite well. Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, Not the meditation most people think about, but the one that is more physical, like
Uh-huh.
the European school, and not
Hmm.
the Eastern. Yeah. Uh, then at some point I was interested in history. Yeah, so I have been reading on Chinese history, for example, and
Hmm.
I'm still have some textbooks I continue reading slowly. Like I take it easy learning things. So, like for example, I have like a textbook which is on the ancient history,
Hmm.
and so it's already half year. I'm reading it like 5-10 minutes per day, so like several pages. Like no rush on that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Another thing, for example, is the finance. So I have been reading textbooks on economy or like watching some lectures. Yes, currently I'm reading textbook on portfolio management, for example. Like that's a lot of
Uh-huh.
math, also. So it's quite
Yeah.
interesting to know statistics and stuff like that.
Hmm.
What else? At some point, oh yeah, at some point I was just watching some. I just go to edX. Okay, what courses sound interesting? What courses sound interesting? So there was a time I was watching a course on, for example, animal husbandry.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's really uncommon these days. I mean,
Yeah, but that's very interesting to, especially from my perspective. I'm like, okay, research, science, then programming, and then okay, animal husbandry. What is it about? Like, what people do there? Yeah.
it's engineering animals, no?
Yes,
Basically.
it is. Like because that's like they do all this offspring. They try to like you cannot just get animals like get animals to grow commercially because that usually doesn't work very well. What people do these days, they okay, I'm in this place. We have this kind of climate. We have this kind of diseases for animals. Then we request some company to engineer offspring that will fit, so
Uh-huh.
it can fit like I don't know. The cows can give like enough milk, and they will not like fall of illness in my specific area, and so on and so forth. And that's a big industry also. So
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, of course.
that's interesting thing to learn about. Like, try to go out of your like comfort zone to learn
Hmm.
something new.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, that's really out. Well, I wouldn't say it's really out of your comfort zone, though, because in a
Yeah,
sense, it is quite away from what you are doing. Material science, you said. but it's still the scientific way of thinking.
Well, yeah, of course. Because if you go to a course, it's usually the scientific way of thinking.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. At some point, I was watching about philosophy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was reading philosophy books, and I watched several series on the Greek philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not too long, but that was interesting one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think around that time I was also learning about European history.
Haha, good, good, good.
Greece, Rome, and yeah, that area, Bronze Age at that time.
Aha, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good, good. Yeah, because of course European history has many chapters to it, and then many nations and many histories.
Yeah, but like more modern history is a bit well, a bit more interesting. But we have a lot. We know a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For ancient history, there were recent breakthroughs in terms of understanding of really ancient history from archaeological evidence, and that basically cancels some of the beliefs that people had in the past. Yeah.
Ah, yeah,
So,
interesting.
like the Bronze Age catastrophe is one of the relatively recent topics. Like at least when I was in high school, it was not that old. Like we didn't know anything about that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ah, yeah, because there is this discussion of there was, I believe, the Bronze Age collapse. Is that how it's?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So yeah, what did you read about that? Because I have only heard about it, but I haven't really focused on it.
This is like one of the debatable stories. Like
Mm-hmm.
what exactly happened? Because we know that there was this Bronze Age civilization in Greece, in Cyprus, in Crete, around that area,
Mm-hmm.
and archaeology shows, for example, like there are some like there was some civilization that was like literally living on top of some underwater volcano, and then
Mm-hmm.
it blew up at some point.
Haha.
That's one of the like pieces of ideas, but that's not the whole story. Like people who lived in modern day in Israel, for example,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that area at that point was not desert. It was like green. There was a lot of agriculture, so people like it was very easy to live there.
Mm-hmm.
Or so, and around that time, like the climate started to change also. So like that
Ah.
area started to become like more arid, and the life become more hard.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is that it's not just those specific places where that climate change or like some disaster happens, but like all around the place you have like ancient civilizations, but at some point they start to crumble. Like something major happened. Like what exactly that what it was. Like some of the hypotheses like okay that was the Bronze Age, and the bronze was like modern day rare earth metals.
Yes,
Like
yes,
we
yes,
rely
yes.
on this so much that if suddenly like the flow cuts, like we
Mm-hmm.
will be in big trouble. And it looked like at some point that exactly what happened. Like for bronze, it was like mined in some areas for
Uh-huh.
components,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like not common at all. Like there are certain areas in modern day Iran, I think, like like there were several mines, and they had to like they sold whatever they mine to like everywhere to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, that trade network collapsed also. So you can imagine that that contributed also. And
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
there is evidence that there is some big invasion of people that happened at that time. So like, there was many countries and cities were plundered,
Mm-hmm. Is it
burned.
the sea people, is the so called?
Yes, yes, sea people. That
Mysterious
was a
sea people.
hypothesis because there is not much evidence on like who exactly they are. Like people arguing, okay, so clearly there's something happened. Like there was some fighting, but who was that? No clue. And why they were moving? Like what made them move? Where are they
Mm-hmm.
coming from? Like people don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
and like in high school, like I never heard about these things. Like and that's a big thing, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. I don't remember hearing about any of that either when I was in school. Yeah, but now I do hear about it more. Yeah.
So it's more modern
Uh-huh.
like findings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What about the Chinese history? Because you mentioned the Chinese history. Which part of it was it ancient? You said.
Yeah, so currently I'm looking into Bronze Age and basically like before. Yeah, so it's like BC time.
Okay, yeah, that's quite
So
old.
it's in parallel. Like it's actually interesting to draw parallels with Greek history, for example,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
they also had at the same time when you had the philosophy of Greece, they developed their own philosophy, and like
Yeah, yeah, of course.
some of the thoughts are like remarkably similar.
Let me tell you about this. For example, the Tao Te Ching, so the Lao Tzu, so that's which is not that ancient, of course. It's not that old in history, but it's BC for sure. In that one, I read it and I'm like, yeah, like this. Like we have basically the same concept. I'm like, wow, how? And they just thought about it independently of each
Well,
other.
not 100% independently actually,
Uh-huh.
because the Silk Road was there at that already. I think.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes. Up.
besides China. So
One second. One
I
second. Sorry.
recall.
One second. Because your screen froze for a second. So
Okay.
let's see. So now it's
I,
moving. Yeah. It's we are good. We are good.
okay.
We are good. So
Yes.
you were saying that the Silk Road was actually there, and that's a good point. But tell me
So
more.
I recall like in Chinese museums, specifically for pottery, like they have a very long history of pottery, like more than 2,000 years. Like I think I even have been to a village that specialized in pottery and is like more than 1,000 years old.
Oh
So they
wow.
literally have like because they have so much pottery, they build everything from like pottery garbage, like some used things, and it's so old that you literally have like archaeological layers of different pottery below the ground.
That's amazing.
But in more general, like they have the Chinese school of this pottery, but at some point, because of trade, they got Greek pottery, for example. So you can find
Haha.
in China, like in that
Mhm.
archaeological sites, you can find the Greek pottery.
Yeah, interesting. I'm curious how it got there because, of
So
course, the
yeah,
Greeks had colonies. Colonies is basically small settlements, right? They wouldn't go inland, but they would have colonies on the shores. And I think the furthest away from modern day Greece would be at the basin of the Caucasus Mountains. So
but you
down
will be
there.
surprised at how like widespread was the trade network during even Bronze Age, because
Uh-huh.
they had to trade this bronze, and like you can imagine, it's a Greece, for example, but where is Afghanistan?
Yeah, further away
That's
from.
not that far,
Uh-huh.
especially when you need to do it on foot or like with caravan.
Yes.
And from Afghanistan to China,
That's really
all of a
close.
sudden it's not that far, right?
Correct.
And I know for China, what happened is for a long time was a kind of landlocked. So they had like some tribes living around the Chinese, like core Chinese regions. Like they had actually in China they had multiple cultures.
Yes.
But the traditional history of China, they try to put everything to okay. So we have like a
It's all
single
Han.
entity, and it's like always the same, like all Han. You know, it's not true, but it's kind of how they try to make it so that it's okay. Uh, we have the right to like we are the true Chinese culture, and then there's a ruler who has the mandate of heaven, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so they try to warp the history to that idea. But what happened is, it, even before that, during the Bronze Age, they didn't meet many civilizations that are very different. Like they meet some near neighbors, but not too far neighbors. And one
Hmm.
of the reasons is on the west from China, there's like mountains, right?
Yes,
You have
yes, yes.
Himalayas, you have Tibet, and it was not easy to find how to get out, like how to go through the mountains. It's like when you like in Bronze Age, you cannot travel so easily, and there are deserts. Like how can you go there, and why would you go there? So this so-called Heishi corridor, and that was basically, I think, one of the rulers sent expeditions to find okay if we have some find more people to the west, because
Hmm.
it was like oh well, onto the west there are just mountains and deserts, nobody lives there, but it was like a great exploration of Europeans to the west, but during the like Bronze Iron Age time in China. And they discovered this Haitian corridor, which is basically a pass you can go between the mountains, so that you can reach that Afghanistan area, like that part, the India also.
Yes. So
And that's when this Silk Road was established. Like when they started to trade with India, they got Buddhism from India, right?
yes, of course, yes.
But India and this area, they were trading with Greece.
Mm-hmm.
So through that connection, they got all the way to the west, and that was the trade route was there. So they exchange the goods. So you can find Chinese goods in Europe, and then European goods in China.
Yeah. Of course, I knew about the Silk Road for a very long time, but I didn't know it would also take place in the Bronze Age, in that era. But of course, now that you mention it,
Not bronze, after Bronze
after
Age.
Bronze Age. Okay, I see.
But like after Bronze Age, they basically discovered that corridor. That trade, establish an actual trade took some time. But it happened at some point. I know in early AD, it was already there.
Oh yeah, early AD, yes, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I have been to one of the entry points to China. That's like a city right on the edge of the desert. So like they were receiving and sending the caravans.
Which city is that?
Dunhuang.
Okay. Is that the Xi'an province? It's called. What is it called there?
Dunhuang. Let me see. Which province is that?
But if you don't know, it doesn't matter.
Well, it's Gansu.
Okay.
So because whatever you said, I don't recall that kind of province. So.
Okay. But maybe I also conflate them. So yeah, don't take me to my word.
Yeah, but that time, like they have this caves that Buddhists carve to worship and for the good luck in travel. So these caravaneers were very rich, but they were also like risking their life because it's very long road. It's desert and like many countries. But they like do worshiping just for the good luck, and they spend a lot of money for that. So because the paints were made from minerals, it's still surviving there. So like, it's a huge complexity. I think it's UNESCO site also.
Yeah. I see. Now that you mentioned minerals, though, I wonder if you try to learn about this also because of the materials aspect of it.
Not
Or
really.
no, there
Not
wasn't.
at all.
No.
I didn't know. I didn't know that it's. I didn't know much about that place, but I looked at it. Okay, so that looks interesting, and then I just traveled there, so like to see, and that's really impressive. Like they have thousands of caves.
I see.
To get an idea, like just one of the places is a Buddha, which is like 40 meters.
Oh, wow.
That's carved from stone. Like most caves are much smaller, like one room, but like they use gold, they use like these paints, and what's interesting that because that city was like on the border, when the artists, like someone has to paint it, right? So in the capital, the artists are like, okay, they must follow the standard, like the mainstream, right?
Of course.
But in there, like people who are not mainstream, like some dissidents, are going to paint from like a very non-standard styles.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, you're looking at Chinese old ancient hippies.
In effect, yeah, the counterculture.
Yeah.
But for me, it's fascinating how the confluence of geography and trade and how all that contributes to culture. So how it's like a living, breathing thing.
Yeah. And yeah, I think there were periods when there was more trade and then there was less trade. So and we can really see it reflected in culture, I think. Even these days, we have globalization that changed a lot of things in terms of culture.
Yeah. Of course. And even modern day, just to say this, like if you go to a port city where there is a lot of trade going, you will see all sorts of people, of merchants and dealers and stuff, who will come from different corners of the world. And there, where they gather, you will have different types of restaurants and then different kinds of amusement places, widely understood. It's like
Oh, yes.
you go to a different world almost
Well,
from other
I used to
parts.
live in Singapore, so yeah, I know it very well.
Yes. So tell me
That's
about
like
it.
the
How is it?
one giant trade city.
And how is it in Singapore? Like, of course, they have like the core of their state and the rules-based order and all that. But how is it in terms of everyday life there?
Well, it's pretty good. Like the city has very good infrastructure.
Hmm.
So it's equator almost. So
Yes.
it's pretty hot there and humid. But like every building is air conditioned, and like even some bus stops are air conditioned.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think
So
you would survive otherwise. It would be really hard.
people did survive at some point, but these days it's like pretty livable city. And as
Yeah.
usual, you don't break the laws, but then
Hmm.
you can live pretty comfortably. What's the problem there?
I
Yeah.
see. I see.
You can see many different cultures in there. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mostly Chinese and Indian, but like all over the world in general.
Hmm.
People.
Hmm. Hmm. So have you traveled to many parts of the world? Like, because you mentioned Singapore, now you're in Warsaw. So where have you been? Where else have you been?
Oh, I have been to many places actually because I'm a researcher. I like often go to conferences also.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I can visit many countries.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point I was not working. At that time I was traveling basically.
Haha, good.
Hey, it was like, okay, I don't have a job, so may as well. Yeah, right.
I mean, yeah, it's a good choice.
Well, if you can afford it, of course, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was not that bad actually in terms of money. Well, part of that I was forced to do it because I'm Ukrainian,
Mm-hmm.
and I had an option. I go back to Ukraine and I cannot leave, or I just travel some countries, but then I cannot stay more than like several months in
Mm-hmm.
each.
Mm-hmm.
So I visited many countries. Like I have been to Singapore. I studied there. I have been working in China. I'm now working in Poland. I have visited like U.S., Puerto Rico, Panama, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Malaysia, Philippines, yeah, like
Wow.
Turkey, Spain, like what else? Bulgaria, Romania, North Macedonia,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
anywhere.
Any place in Africa, maybe?
Not
Mm-hmm.
in Africa, no.
Australia, that part, or
No,
New
I never
Zealand?
went. I think I had a chance at some point, but no, I didn't go there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, that's most. I might forget something, but yeah.
Wow, many places. Which one made the most the most lasting impression on you? Where you were like, ah, this is wow.
Well, everybody is an impression.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Just it's difficult to compare because I visited for different time. Like for example, in US, I have spent like maybe half a year in total, but I did many visits in different cities.
Mm-hmm.
So, do I have impression about US? Yes, of course. Is it lasting? Yes. Or I know Puerto Rico. Well, in some places less because, for example, in Puerto Rico, I have been there, but it was mostly a conference. So, and it was mostly work. So I
Yeah.
didn't have time to explore. But I cannot really distinguish like one specific place. Like everywhere, it's quite interesting and very different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, and every experience will be unique in that
Yeah,
regard.
like,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
example, I have been to Philippines to Manila, and after I went off the plane, and I decided to use Google Maps to travel.
Uh-huh.
That was an interesting decision, according to what I heard later, uh, because Google Maps suggested to take some train, and the train started in slums.
Oh.
Yeah, like I go according to the map, and they're like, okay, suddenly I've seen building made from like metal and some slate. Like, what is that? Like, and then the train comes, and it doesn't have windows. Windows are like covered with metal sheets.
Oh. It's like for cargo only.
Exactly. Like, it's okay. It was fine, but then I thought, oh, you should have taken taxi.
Yes, 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 makes sense. Because of course you go there with certain assumptions, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So different countries, different impressions.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Taiwan, yeah, I have been working, but I managed to get to like completely different side of the island
Mm-hmm.
by train because the trains they are like so fast.
Yes.
And like I went to like a mountain area, walked around there, and come back the same day, just because the train system is so good.
Yes, that's amazing. Yeah. I mean, when you have that kind of infrastructure, it encourages you to explore the place.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember when I was in Belgium, I would always, on a weekend, I would hop on the train and just go to a city and see how it is.
Yeah. These days though, like in Warsaw, the train system is also quite good.
Mm-hmm.
In Poland in general, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, these days I don't have that much time to travel.
Yeah. Like if you had the time,
Of course.
do you have any destinations in mind in within Poland that you would like to check out?
Oh yeah, I have a list.
And I don't know the geography all that well, but I believe Poland has mountains to the southwest,
Yes,
maybe.
yes.
Yeah, but otherwise it's
Actually,
plains.
I actually have been there,
Hmm.
but that was for work also.
Ah, no.
But
What's the
yeah,
mountain range called? Tetra Mountains, I think, or
I
something.
don't remember the name. Yeah,
Yeah.
but the city was called Zakopane. Yeah, and that's
Mm-hmm.
like I think that's the mountain resort city.
Aha.
Except that I was there for a conference, so I didn't really have much time for anything else. But yeah, and that's the mountains are there.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah. Because me, if I was there, I would like to explore something other than mountains. I would be like, okay, show me plains, show me lakes, show me something else.
Oh, I guess the mountains can be different as well, right?
Of course, yes, sure.
Yeah, I have been living in Xi'an, that's in China,
Hmm.
and the city is located in Mountain Valley,
Hmm.
and like you can take a bus, and it's like in 1-2 hours you get to actual mountains.
Hmm.
And these mountains are the like ice age mountains when the ice was retreating, so they got really
Ah.
snow in this kind of mountains.
One
So
thing to
that
say,
looks really nice.
just to say, because now you mentioned Chinese mountains, and I remembered, um, what's it called? I forget now. No, I forget the name of it. Like because you mentioned Shan. Shan is the word for mountain, I think, in
No,
Chinese.
no, Shan, yes, but I was meant Xi'an.
Ah, Xian. Okay, sorry. I confused it. Yeah. Because I thought I was wanting to say that they have this painting where the main theme is the mountain.
Yes,
So,
I have been to that area too.
aha.
That's in the south of China.
Ah.
I think near in Guangdong province, at least partially, like near Guangzhou, you can get there. And yeah, the mountains look very interesting because like they kind of eroded and like they have these pillars. Yeah.
Mm. Uh-huh. And what do these pillars support? What are they for?
No, like the mountain looks like
Ah,
very high.
okay. Oh.
Those are not they are not exactly mountains. It's well, there are mountains there, but these structures, eroded structures, they look very distinct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They
Okay.
they're near mountains and in mountains area, but it's not like as big mountain as you used to.
Mm-hmm.
You can just drive the car and you see like this like kind of hills but of unusual shape, like just popping left and right.
Huh, interesting. Yeah, I have to look that up. Yeah, I'm curious to see how that looks.
Yeah, that really looks different. That interesting place. But I think there is a similar place in Greece. Either in
Maybe
Greece or to the
maybe
north.
Meteora you have in mind, like.
Yeah, yes, most likely, most likely. That
Yeah.
place where you have this the how is it called, like monasteries
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
on these mountains. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that
So
looks a little similar. Yeah.
interesting. Okay, okay, yeah. Fascinating. And do they have anything, some temple up there as well, or some monastery?
Oh yeah, they do. Like
Yeah.
in there are some temples that are like very similar to the European place. That the temple is like on the side of mountain, like literally hanging.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow.
Like they build it so that like some buildings are supported just by like something that's sticking to the mountain, not by mountain literally. Like it's not on top of the ground,
Mm-hmm.
hanging in the air.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wouldn't want to be there on that construction project. Sounds
Well, they
really
did a lot of
dangerous.
amazing construction projects actually.
Uh-huh.
So if you think about it, even that's during the like Bronze and the later age, they did like huge canal systems that are
Huh.
connecting the whole rivers, and they like create the dams that like redirect water for irrigation, and that
Mm-hmm.
was like the sea time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But of course, I mean, maybe they didn't have the technology we have nowadays, but they definitely had the same brains, right? The same.
Well, some
Uh,
of those dams are still working.
exactly. So, quite a genius then. um, okay, let's switch topics. This was very interesting. Tell me a little bit about your science, like your expertise. So, what is material science? What does it actually study? I have an idea, but I'm curious to know. Because just to say, when they were teaching this subject in school, I wasn't paying attention. I was daydreaming of other things.
Well, material science is like a very broad thing. So there are many different sub subjects,
Mm-hmm.
but how to explain it's easy way. Like you have your mobile phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, the simple thing, it's you have a battery in your mobile phone, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How does that battery work?
Haha. Good.
Like that's like the materials that are used for battery are like coming from knowledge of material science. Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
how do you make it charge fast? How do you make it store a lot of energy so that your mobile phone can run for like not for one day but more or less, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For that you need to know how materials work, like what it takes to charge the battery, like what exactly happens, like how to
Exactly.
improve that. Or a more trivial thing, like in your heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the walls are made from certain material, right?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, and it should be strong enough to support it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
shouldn't degrade out of weather conditions. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
again,
Yeah. So basically, you
the,
need to know the properties of each material and how they relate to the application you have in mind.
yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
even cement is like it's an ancient material, right?
Yep. Yep.
But if you think about like modern structures, yeah, you add metal to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So again, this was a relatively recent invention, metal-based construction. But
Mm-hmm.
again, what kind of metal are you going to add?
Oh, yeah, that's tricky because you have to consider, I imagine, you have to consider its conductivity to heat and how that affects its.
Oh,
Uh,
that also
right.
that's important part. Like,
Because that could basically break the
civil
building, I'm
cements also,
thinking.
yeah,
Yeah.
like because in there it tends to like absorb some moisture, so like it shouldn't also corrode too
Mm,
much.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or like if you have a car or a plane, like for a plane, for example, don't want the plane to fall apart into pieces, right? So, but there's another problem. You shouldn't make it heavy. So
Yes.
For example, you cannot use steel for planes. That's a very bad idea because steel is very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So people are trying to like make different material. So like the typical one is aluminum based. But
Okay.
again, you cannot just use aluminum because it's soft, right? So people try to add something to that aluminum to make it stronger. And more recently, the newer ones, people say, okay, so maybe we don't use metal at all and use carbon, right? Because it's even
Huh.
lighter. But carbon is like you go and wood is carbon, right? But
Mm.
you can make plane from wood. That's how the old planes were made, but
Uh-huh.
not the plane that flies 10 kilometers.
Correct. It will catch fire. Like, what would be the downside?
It's just too weak. Yeah.
Too weak.
So
Yeah.
what people these days do is do like so-called composites, the
Mm-hmm.
carbon fiber composites. So when
Uh-huh.
you like grow carbon into small, like you can think about as a thread, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like individual pieces of thread are very weak, but when you like put them together,
Mm-hmm.
it's much better. So it's the same idea, but you make a thread from carbon, pure carbon.
Wow. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
by like layering different directions of this carbon fibers, you can achieve like very good strands, and at the same time it's light. So that kind of plane can survive and can also save fuel because it's lighter.
Ah, brilliant.
So that's just very few aspects, but there are many more. There are
Yes.
many
Yes.
more.
I understand the implications. I.
The computer, how it works again, like it's all like you must know the material science, like how silicon works,
Mm-hmm.
how you can change it so that it conducts or not conducts, or like conducts in a special way.
Mm-hmm.
Your micro scheme can be small, very small, right?
Yes, of course, of course. So in this field, I imagine there are at least some parts of it that are focused on applications. So you have knowledge of materials and their properties, and you just do stuff with them. But I imagine there is another part which is the purely research focused, or are they basically one and the same?
Well, of course, there is always application, but there is always more pure and pure knowledge focused part. Although these days in research in general, people are like heavily paying attention to applications.
Mm-hmm.
So like the basic research is much less encouraged, I would say. So
Mm-hmm.
it's much more difficult to do it.
Is
So
it because
people,
it's inherently difficult, or is it a money issue, like funding?
it's mostly funding
Mm-hmm.
because like you can imagine. Okay, so there is a funding for like I don't know. I want to explore string theory and then try to find some interesting mathematical implications of it.
Mm-hmm.
That may be fun, but from the point of view of okay, government is thinking, okay, so we have this money, like what we spend them on? Are we going to spend it on some mathematical theoretical investigation, or are we going to spend it to something that will save and like give more money or give more jobs, right?
Yes, yes.
So there is some allocation to basic research, but it's always much smaller fraction. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so there are less people who can do it. Like and because if there are more people, more competition, and nobody gets like most people don't get the funding, so you get that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
most of research is application based to
yeah.
various
Uh-huh.
degrees.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And I imagine yours is as well. Like
Oh,
your.
currently I'm working on batteries. So
Uh-huh.
we are looking into replacing lithium with sodium in
Okay,
batteries.
and if you were to give me like the big picture view of that, why? Why would you want to do that?
Very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Lithium is not much on Earth.
Oh.
And yeah, you mine it in Africa and in some places in, I think, in South America. But the reserves are all like very small. Well, they are not small, but they can deplete in like tens of years if we use
Oh.
it much.
Yes.
So, and after that, the only option will be recycling.
Yes, yes, I see, I see. Because now we rely a lot on lithium. I believe all the phones and the laptops have lithium batteries. Solar panels, basically lithium if you want to have
No,
batteries. They promote it.
no,
No?
yeah, of course. If you want to like use solar panel, that's yes. So that's actually one of the things that people are thinking because if you have green energy, like you have wind, you have solar, then they don't give the stable energy. They don't give electricity like all the time, day and night. Or
Ah,
if you need more demand, they cannot suddenly say, okay, let's increase the output. Yeah, you have that much sun, you have that much wind, you don't have sun
yeah.
at night. No, you
Yeah.
cannot.
You have to rely on
You have to
candles.
store it somehow. Yeah. So people try different things to store this energy, like, and that's not like your phone storage.
Hmm.
So your phone storage is nothing. You like if you want to store the output of power plant, you know, that's going to be like a huge battery.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
like one of the things I think Tesla was doing in Australia, for example, like they have a huge government contract to build like huge battery storage, like, and you can imagine how much lithium it requires. It's not your like even phone or not your laptop battery. It's much larger.
That will be
So like,
massive.
if you can somehow replace like because sodium is I think the third or fourth most abundant element on Earth.
So just for me to be clear, sodium is basically salt, of course. In my lay
Yeah, that's
person, yeah, okay,
it's, it's
okay.
very common. It's very
Hmm.
common.
Hmm. So
And
if we could go from a rare earth mineral to basically a mineral that is everywhere.
yeah, well, we wish to accept that it's not so easy. So yeah, there are problems that are trying to solve. If you like the way batteries work these days is uh, there's some sodium salt basically, not the table salt, but some different structure containing sodium. On one side, and the other side is graphite.
Uh-huh.
There's graphite,
Okay.
and basically sodium lithium goes from that salt into graphite and back so that you charge and discharge it.
Huh. Hmm.
But there is a problem. Like, lithium goes into graphite, sodium does not.
Ah, interesting.
Basically, sodium is larger atom, and it just cannot fit. Kind of.
Uh-huh. So how do you
So,
deal with that?
so people are trying one of the most promising ways these days. Okay, graphite doesn't work, so let's try charcoal. It's still carbon, but okay, different form of carbon.
Uh-huh.
So, and the idea is graphite is like crystalline. I don't know if you know, but it's kind of layers of carbon. So,
Okay, yeah.
but charcoal is kind of random.
Ah, it's not layered,
Because it's
yeah.
random, it has more space inside.
Huh. Hmm.
So like then the different atoms are easier to go in, so you can store them.
Fascinating, fascinating. Yeah, because basically you have to think in terms of the interaction and the inherent structure of each element.
Yeah, so the science is usually about understanding. Like, okay, we want to understand what is happening and why it's happening,
Hmm.
and then based on our understanding, we can go ahead and try to improve the real life thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because what companies often do, we have no idea, but we can just try different things and choose whatever works best. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So in a very short-sighted sense, like.
Well, it's not short-sighted because if it works, it's fine, right?
Ah, okay, okay. But I mean,
Like,
if it works in the sense that
but
if it works for their application
yeah,
without
but if you
consider.
don't understand why it works, right,
Exactly, yeah, yeah.
you'll need a lot of time. You need to spend a lot of time just to find something better.
Mm-hmm.
And if you
Mm-hmm.
understand it, if you understand like the underlying physics, the underlying like how exactly things are working, then you can think about it and like be smart. Like, okay, what exactly I want to do to make it work better.
Yes, yes, yes. Because of course, unless you know how to connect these dots, basically you are wasting a lot of your resources.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
It works the same. It's like it's just scientific approach in general.
Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. But to me, it
It works
sounds
the
really
same.
fascinating.
Probably in even in government it works the same because you can try different things randomly, but if you have some sociology that is based in certain decisions, that's that's a project can work better.
Yeah, 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 of course. Like the core idea is the same, but of course, in some parts of life, you have more leeway with what you can afford to not do well. Whereas,
that's the same in engineering. The
yeah,
same
yeah,
thing.
the tolerances are different, right? So you can have a tolerance for bad approaches as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like there are things you care about, there are things you don't care about, right?
Uh-huh.
Because you can even for companies there is R&D, right? Research and development. So they will try things to like improve their products, but what they try is like they have limited resources always, right?
Always, always.
So they will focus on the most critical parts. They will not care about less critical.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And of course, the most critical part would be the one that is most performant for their task, and I guess the one that will yield the most profits.
Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And is there like a general pattern in what is the least important part?
It totally depends on products.
Mm-hmm.
You
Let's
can
say the
the
phones.
analogy with programming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you may improve so many things in your program, right? But probably you will focus on things that matter most.
Correct, correct.
Or like if you want to improve performance, you don't care about improving performance of thing that is running on just once, right? You try to focus on something that like that is the bottleneck.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see. Yeah, yeah. It works the same way. Wow. And how do you get into this field? Like, of course, I imagine you have to have an understanding in physics, chemistry, of course, your math as well. Is there something else you need to have as basic knowledge to get into this field?
Uh, to be frank, it depends
Mm-hmm.
because well, maybe these days it's going to change a little with AI,
Yes,
but
that's true.
in general, for research, uh, it's very good to have a like understanding background. But for many jobs in research, you sometimes just to be stubborn and
Well,
work a lot.
okay. Then I make myself available to.
It's totally doable because sometimes in academia and in research, people without a good background will go. But once they're able to learn new
Mm-hmm,
things, once they are able to work persistently,
mm-hmm.
they can achieve success in
Sounds
research.
right. Yeah, sounds right. Because I imagine, of course, provided you follow the protocol, you can effectively tinker and experiment.
Yeah, and like once you are systematic, like once you okay, I read the literature, I try to learn what is going on. I follow a good protocols and not just carelessly try something without thinking. Yeah, that can work. Even if you don't have like exact knowledge, and in fact most people don't have exact knowledge because okay,
Hmm.
I'm working on batteries now, but it doesn't mean that I learned about batteries in my high school or something like that. I didn't have that
True.
background, but once I started work, okay, I need to learn. I go and read what people write about it, like something I don't know, I go and learn myself. Yeah.
Okay, okay, good, good. How are we on time, by the way? Because I yeah, didn't keep track of it. So we are good on time. So we are all the way over an hour. Very interesting things. I'm excited to learn more about them. But I say we call it a day because I have promised to keep those to around an hour.
Very
um,
well.
But thank you for telling me more about yourself because, as I said earlier, for me it's important to have this human side of the maintainer. Like, so the maintainer is not just somebody who contributes code, and there is an actual person there.
Yeah, of course, and I guess that's the idea behind these interviews. So
Uh-huh,
that's what you
uh-huh,
wrote in the blog post.
uh-huh,
So
uh-huh. Yeah,
thank
and
you.
thank you for joining me.
Okay. Yeah.
So
And
let's call it a day then.
sure.
I will close the call and then terminate the video, and we take it from there. And if you have any links, let me know, and I will put them in the description. Any links you want for yourself. I saw some links you have there, and I will add those.
Well, I don't know how we approach this. Like, I don't care about links too much because it's not like I'm trying to like
No,
attract
no,
attention.
no.
But I think if you share recording earlier, I can try to put some relevant links according to what we discussed.
Yes. Okay.
You
So
know, it's actually a bit of a research habit because in research we have to cite everything we say.
I know.
So if you want, I can do that. So I can put like some background reading on like history or like textbook links or like some more information about the cities we discussed or something along those lines.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Very well.
Okay.
I will do that.
Okay, sure. So yeah, that may I don't know, that may take some time because if I want to be like very rigorous about this, so I need to go through the whole discussion and just do that. So do you have any time frame when you want to get it ready?
As you will, as you will. In the past, the videos I did, we didn't do any of that citation work, and we just published it right away.
No, whatever you prefer. I'm just I think if people are interested in discuss topics, then having a link can help.
I think it can help. Yes, for sure. But if you think that it's something you can do within a short time frame, sure, do it. But otherwise, don't go into the trouble of doing a diatribe, to research all the links and everything.
No, I don't need to research them because I have everything in
No,
one
I mean
place.
to find them. Yeah, to find them.
Well, yeah, so it will take some time. It's not too much time, also. Maybe
Okay,
several
then
days.
let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. So then, well, just share some way. Yeah.
Yeah, I will send it to you then.
Okay.
Very well. So take care.
Good
Thank
time
you very much for your time. And good luck with everything.
for you too, especially with the fires that you said.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so everything is under control. They were still operating last night as well, patrolling the area, and this morning I could hear the airplanes. But yeah, everything is under control, so we are good.
Okay, that's good. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Take care. Bye bye. So closing here and finding here. So goodbye from my side, folks. Terminating the recording.